Hello everyone and welcome to another video from Daddy Daughter Card Breaks. My name is Clay, Lucky is with me, and today we are doing another top 10 list. Today's top 10 list is my opinions on players who should be in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and these will all be position players. I will do a completely different video here before too long on pitchers that I believe should be in the Hall of Fame, but these here are going to be just position players. I would also like to state that none of the players on this list will be players from the steroid scandal, and of course I will not have Pete Rose on this list or players who had some sort of sketchy background on why they are not in the Hall of Fame currently. Now, my opinions on whether or not those players should be in the Hall of Fame are probably totally different than most people's. I do believe that several of those players should be in the Hall of Fame, but I will not list them on this list just due to that for this particular video. So, do want to go ahead and get right into this with a couple honorable mentions. Now, honorable mentions, and even in my top 10 list, these players could definitely interchange with one another in some fashion. Honorable mentions, man, we could talk about this for days and days on who belongs, who doesn't belong, favoritism that a certain region may have towards a player, that the writers had towards certain players. So the honorable mentions, I'm only going to do two, but there could be several. So I'm going to start with George Foster. George Foster, as you can see here, his rookie year, 1971 tops, and you can hear Lucky in the background. His mom, my wife, just walked in the door, so he is excited to see her. So anyway, George had an 18-year career. He was a 5-time All-Star, a league MVP winner. He had 2 World Series appearances. One of those World Series, he was chosen as the MVP. Ended his career with 348 home runs and a 274 lifetime batting average. So George Foster, I believe, could definitely have made the Hall of Fame, and I do have him on the honorable mention list, along with a newer player who retired several years ago now, but that is Andruw Jones. Andruw Jones had a great 17-year career. He was a 5-time All-Star. This man won 10 Gold Gloves 10 years in a row. Okay, that is almost unfathomable to win 10 Gold Gloves and do it 10 years in a row. He ended his career with 434 home runs and a 254.254 batting average. So those are my honorable mentions. I think either one of those guys could at some point be in the Hall of Fame. I would really like to see George Foster in there, but whether or not they ever make it is a totally different story. So, my number 10, so we get into this, and if your opinions differ, please let me know in the comments whether or not you think some of these players do deserve it. But my number 10 is Scott Rowland. Now, Scott Rowland had a great 17-year career. He was the 1997 Rookie of the Year, 7-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove winner. He ended his career with 2,017 hits, 316 home runs, and a 281 batting average. That is great numbers for a third baseman. And not only that, but to do that during the pinnacle of the steroid era and what was happening in baseball at the time, Scott Rowland had a massive career, and I believe does and is worthy of a spot in the Hall of Fame. So we will now move on to my number 9 pick. My number 9 is Mr. Don Baylor. Don Baylor, another one of those players who had a great career. He played for 19 years. He was a 1-time All-Star. He did win an MVP. He won a World Series ring. Ended his career with 2,135 hits, 338 home runs, and a 260 batting average. So Don Baylor Again, just another one of those players who I would put in my top 10 that should be in the Hall of Fame. My number 8 is Mr. Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans, another one of those players who had obviously a great career. 20 years he played. He was a 3-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove winner. Ended his career with 2,446 hits, 385 home runs, and a 272 batting average. Dwight Evans, to me, is one of those players who genuinely gets overlooked quite a bit, and I really think that they should go back and look at him again and see what the issue is. What is wrong with his numbers compared to some of the people that are in the Hall of Fame, and why he has not been considered harder than what he already has been. So my number 7 is going to be Omar Vizquel. Now, Omar Vizquel had an amazing career. As you can see, he played for 24 years. And anybody, in my opinion, anybody who can play for 24 years and stay that viable, I mean, that's almost an automatic ticket, especially in a position such as the shortstop and third base positions that he was playing. So, Omar Vizquel, 3-time All-Star, 11-time Gold Glove winner. He is the 5th all-time in assists of any player. 2 of the players that are above him are in the Hall of Fame, Ozzie Smith and Cal Ripken Jr. And Ozzie Smith is one of those who you can base your stat line against. Now, a lot of people would give you flack, especially in the St. Louis area or the Southeast Missouri area or anywhere that is considered Cardinal Nation, if you say Ozzie Smith does not belong in the Hall of Fame. So I'm absolutely not saying that. I'm just saying, based upon Ozzie Smith's stats, and yes, he was a 13-time Gold Glove winner, but based upon his stats, how does he qualify for the Hall of Fame any more than what some of these other guys do? So, Omar Vizquel, 2,877 hits, ended on a 272 batting average. I think Omar definitely deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. So moving on to my number 6 is Mr. Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy had an 18-year career, 7-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner, 2-time league MVP. Now, he is one of 4 or 5 players who have multiple MVPs that are not in the Hall of Fame. 2,111 hits, 398 home runs, and a 265 overall career batting average. Those numbers right there, 7 All-Stars, 5 Gold Gloves, 2 MVPs. I mean, that is Hall of Fame worthy numbers, in my opinion. I'm not a sports writer, so obviously I don't get a vote. But, come on. Dale Murphy's numbers, 18-year career, yeah, he deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. So moving on to number 5 is Mr. Lou Whitaker. Sweet Lou. Lou Whitaker played for 19 years, 5-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove winner. He was a Rookie of the Year. He does have a World Series ring. Ended his career with 2,369 hits, 244 home runs, and a 276 batting average. Again, put his numbers against Ozzie Smith. Put his numbers against, a couple other players that are in the Hall of Fame. Not, to me, a whole lot of good reasons why Lou Whitaker should not be in the Hall of Fame. So, it's time for number 4. My number 4 pick, in my opinion, is a monster. Absolutely no reason I see whatsoever that Mr. Dave Parker should not be in the Hall of Fame. Dave played for 19 years, 3-time All-Star, 7-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove winner, 2 batting titles, 2 World Series rings, a league MVP, 2,712 hits, 339 home runs, and a career batting average of .290. What's wrong with those numbers? I mean, okay, so he didn't lead the majors in on-field backflips. But what's wrong with those numbers? No reason why Dave Parker should not be in the Hall of Fame. Number 3. This one here is on most people's lists of players who should be in the Hall of Fame. And that is Mr. Fred McGriff, the crime dog. Fred McGriff played for 19 years, 7-time All-Star. Wait a minute. Wrong screen. I apologize. 19 years, 5-time All-Star. He was an All-Star MVP. Does have a World Series ring himself. 2,490 hits, 493 home runs. He ended his career 7 home runs short of that magical 500 number. And a .284 lifetime batting average. Come on, guys. 2,490, 493, .284 batting average. 5 All-Star appearances. Zero reason whatsoever why Fred McGriff should not be in the Hall of Fame. All right, number 2. My number 2 had his rookie year in 1962, and that is the great Joe Torre. Now, Joe Torre is in the Hall of Fame as a manager, but his player stats also garner a player spot in the Hall of Fame. Played for 18 years, a 9-time All-Star, league MVP. He won a Gold Glove. He won a batting title. He had 2,342 career hits, 252 home runs, and a .297 career batting average. Joe Torre. No reason, again, whatsoever that Joe Torre should not be in the players' wing of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So, we come down to my number 1. And my number 1 pick, this guy's numbers scream Hall of Fame. So why he's not there, your guess would be as good as mine. And I do hope that someday he is, and that is Mr. Steve Garvey. Steve Garvey played for 19 years. He was a 10-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner, league MVP, 2-time All-Star MVP, 2-time National League Championship Series MVP, does have a World Series ring, ended his career with 2,599 hits and a .294 batting average. Those are Hall of Fame numbers. Why is Steve Garvey not in the Hall of Fame? So, guys, there was my list. I'm sorry I didn't put the number 1 up there, but there it is now. I got just a little bit excited when I was ready to talk about Steve Garvey because nobody can explain to me and give me good reasons why Steve Garvey is not in the Hall of Fame. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one here. I had fun putting it together. I had fun determining who I think are the 10 players who definitely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Again, guys, the list could go on forever on players who should be in the Hall of Fame. We could probably put together a top 10 list of players who should not be in the Hall of Fame. But when you compare numbers and when you compare careers, you compare All-Star appearances, league MVPs, Gold Glove winners, there's zero reason why most of these guys on this top 10 list should not be in the Hall of Fame. So, I had fun with you guys today. Join me again next week as we do another top 10 list of my personal opinion picks on something. We'll decide at that time, come next week, what that category is going to be. If you have an idea of a top 10 list that you'd like for me to do, leave it in the comments. If your opinions differ on my picks for who should be in the Hall of Fame, also let me know that. And we will see you guys next time.